guys, I'm live. How you guys doing? Yeah, I just want to do an update. I'm walking. I'm on my walk, and I just want to do an update and stuff like that. And let's do it. So, it's a lot of cars right now. Let them have their fun. Yeah. So, it's analogy to the update in me. Analogy is like the Jefferson Starship. With Grace Slick and Paul Kantner, we're doing an interview about Jim Morrison, actually, about the Doors. It was part of the footage for the Doors Live in Europe 1968 tour. And Grace Slick and Paul Kantner were talking about rock and roll, and they were talking about the shift. Grace Slick particularly was talking about the shift that occurred in rock and roll between the 50s and the 60s. Big shift. There was rock and roll in the 50s, but it shifted in the 60s. It shifted to a more psychedelic phase. It was more harder. It was more hard rock than the 50s. It was more serious than the 50s. People could actually took it seriously. People actually wanted to play well. People actually weren't just there to, just hang out with the guys and whatever, There was a shift in music from the 50s to the 60s. And I think I have gone through, or I'm going through, or both, a similar shift in myself as Shirtless Guy. Here's some water. I should have seen. I did see it, but I thought it might have been off. Wrong. But there's a similar shift that's happening or happened with me as Shirtless Guy. As rock and roll shifted from the 50s to the 60s, I'm shifting to a more confident Shirtless Guy. I still have. I'm still like I haven't left the qualities I have had. I've just added a few. Just added a layer of confidence. I just added to Shirtless Guy. It's not. I didn't take anything away from Shirtless Guy. He's still everything else he always was. But I'm going to explain this breakthrough and this confidence right now in a second here. It's kind of like this, This world is mean, cruel, and uncaring a lot of the time, especially as you're growing up in it. And I miss out on a couple things that most guys go through that they take for granted almost. Some loud cars have their fun. Just a minute. So one of those things is something I couldn't have helped. It's called having your mother, your natural mother's touch. Having your natural mother not give you up or leave you. And I didn't have that. Well, my natural mother left me. I never got my natural mother's touch i.e. ergo, I have the primal wound. I have the primal wound of having not been loved or touched and given up on my natural mother. So that's one thing that most people just take for granted that I didn't get. But then there's another step in this world. There's another thing that happens is when with guys, when they grow up, they go through a phase where they have to confront other guys, and it's always an issue of fighting, whether who's the best fighter, who will fight, who won't fight, who gets beaten up, who doesn't, who beats up other guys, and whatever. And I missed out on what most guys go through, which is most guys go through a point where they're just say, okay, I'm willing to fight, I'm ready to fight, let's fight and see where my social rank is. How do I rank socially based on my ability to fight other guys? And they go through that young, and then they realize who they are, and they go, oh, here's a loud ambulance. Sorry guys. Guys, wouldn't it be funny? Hey, good to see you. Hey, good to see you. Oh. Anyway, wouldn't it be funny if they use those? Wouldn't it be funny if they used those loud sirens as part of MK brainwashing technology that we would never know it, and all those sirens noises could all be like frequencies that brainwash us and dumb us up and all those kind of things. That would be funny, and my plugging my ears for that would actually be a very good thing, I think. But anyway, back to the subject. I never went through that. See, my dad beat the shit out of me. He didn't, you know. I was never in. I never stood up for myself in school. I never stood up for myself. I never decided, okay, I'm going to fight and see what happens. I never did that. I never felt qualified, first of all. I didn't have a supportive dad to help me learn how to fight, second of all. And I was little, third of all. I was a very little guy. And the other guys outsized me. They had more support than I did. And they were more aggressive by nature than I was, a lot of them. I don't have an aggressive nature, but that doesn't mean I wouldn't fight or won't fight for what I want to. But I never made that choice. I never did that growing up. But it just changed today. I didn't get in a fight today, but I just decided. You know, see, in The Hunted, the movie with Tommy Lee Jones, he teaches people how to kill, and one of the things he says in his tutoring, he says, killing is mental first. If you can get your head around killing somebody mentally, physically, it's not hard. But I'm not trying. I finally got my head around not killing somebody, but I got my head around fighting today, and I stepped up to the plate, so to speak. I decided that part of me is good. That I need to fight somebody, I will. And if I need to fight somebody, I can, and we'll just see what happens. And I'm no longer undersized, because I'm 5'9", 165 pounds, between 160 and 65. I no longer have no qualifications because I'm very, 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 very quick. I'm not weak. I'm not the strongest guy, but I'm not the weakest guy. And some other guy says it. I'm just not afraid of that scenario of fighting some dude. I'm not afraid of dudes every time a dude walks by or whatever. That I'm just not. And that's the new 60s version of me. It doesn't change everything. Oh, here's another siren. Isn't that lovely, beautiful music going by? Anyway, that's awesome. This has just been an update. It's wonder you guys can even hear me if you can, because of all the loud noise. Anyway, is that all I want to say? No, I want to say a couple of things, but I can't because it's making noise. Jesus. God, I can barely hear myself think now. So. That's really beautiful music, isn't it? Yeah, just beautiful, nice sounds, rock and roll. So anyway, that update I just wanted to do. So, and that's all good. It's confident Shirtless Guy. It's a better Shirtless Guy. It was better than the 50s rock. It just was. It had a different edge, a different attitude. And it was necessary and good for rock and roll to survive that happened from the 50s to the 60s. The 50s music wasn't done. But it was the start of rock and roll. It was the start. You had to start somewhere, you know? So when it switched to the 60s, it became the rock and roll we all know and love. At least. There's that, and then there's the. I came up with the phrase, the god of cock and roll. It's just fun. I'm still Shirtless Guy, of course. It doesn't replace the Shirtless Guy title or anything, but it's just a fun thing I thought of and thought it would be funny and fun to put that out there. So that's all I'm doing there. And then I'm making headway and progress in my understanding of seeing the circle of fifths and all that on the guitar and in my head as well. And I'll probably talk about this later. I don't know if right now maybe not the right time because there's a lot of noise out here, and just maybe another time is better. But let me just say what the gist of it is. I'm learning to think on the guitar and in my head. I'm learning to think of the music piano-wise as well as guitar-wise. You have to think of music piano as well as whatever instrument you play almost in Western music, because Western music is based on the piano. The whole theory of the staff, the way it's written, the sharps and the flats, it all relates to the piano. There's no sharp frets or flat frets on a guitar, but there's sharp notes and sharp keys and flat keys on the piano. There's no sharps or flat things in trumpet or saxophone, but it's there on keyboard. So it's really you have to be a complete musician, you have to get back to the roots of the keyboard, the roots of music, the first instrument that was non-vocal in Western music. It had 12 notes. Yeah, there's drums and things like that. They're just rhythmic things, and there's other more primitive things. But the first 12-tone instruments were harpsichords and pianos and organs and things like that. So I'm getting my head around that. The way that I'm starting to see music as a keyboard and as a guitar. But I'm able to see it as a keyboard as well, and that's a new thing. And I'll probably do some lessons on it, or talk about it later. It's very cool to think piano-wise. Pianos, if you can think piano and then relate it to guitar, and also relate piano to the staff of notes on the paper, and then relate that to the guitar. It just makes you smarter and better as a musician, I think. And I've made some good progress in that arena today too. But rather than talk about that right now when there's about 100 decibels out here, I'm just going to say, love you guys, peace, love, and rock and roll. Love you guys.